The anniversary cruise had been sold to me as the perfect escape. 10 days of sun, champagne, and private moments with the man I had loved for 15 years. I remember standing on the deck that morning, the horizon ablaze with the sunrise, as my husband, Mark, took my hand with a smile that seemed softer than usual. He had whispered, almost conspiratorially, that he wanted to renew our vows on a secluded beach, a private ceremony, intimate, and just for us. My heart had soared at the thought. After all, after years of busy corporate life, this felt like a moment to reclaim us, to remind ourselves why we had endured the chaos of life together. I had dressed in a flowing white sundress, my hair loose and glistening in the morning sun, and allowed myself to believe in the image he painted, a moment of love, captured forever in photographs, laughter echoing across the sand. The cruise had been flawless up to that point. Dinners on the deck, late-night stargazing, whispered conversations while the waves lapped against the hull, all orchestrated perfectly by Mark. And yet, even in the midst of this idyllic setting, a small, almost imperceptible unease had gnawed at me. Mark had been distant at odd times, his eyes flicking to his phone more than necessary, his laughter with me sometimes tinged with something I couldn't name. I pushed the doubts aside, telling myself the magic of the moment would erase all shadows. The morning we were to reach the beach, Mark insisted I rest in our cabin while he made final arrangements. I agreed, my excitement tinged with a naive trust that he was preparing something extraordinary. Little did I know, he was preparing a betrayal more vicious than I could have imagined. I had learned long ago to trust my instincts, though, and as I lounged by the balcony, I noticed the glint of a lens positioned subtly in the corner of the room, a gift I had installed in our suite days ago, in response to the nagging feeling that all was not as it seemed. By the time he returned, leading me down the soft sand of the secluded beach, the first signs of the deception became painfully clear. A professional photographer, someone I did not recognize, was crouched near the water's edge, camera poised. And beside Mark, standing too close, laughing too freely, was his personal trainer, a woman he had casually referred to as like family. Her hand lingered on his arm in a way that was intimate, possessive, a silent proclamation of their connection. The shock hit me like ice water. The vow renewal I had envisioned was not for us, it was a performance designed for them, for the camera, for a memory I was never meant to share. I moved slowly, my face a mask of composure while my heart shattered piece by piece. Mark spoke my name, his voice bright, expectant, unaware that I already knew the truth. The photographer directed them gently, asking for candid moments, guiding them to laugh together, whisper secrets, and touch in ways that were meant to humiliate me when discovered. I watched, frozen, every movement recorded not only by their hired lens but by my own hidden camera, positioned cleverly on a rock that overlooked the scene without detection. Every smile, every subtle caress, every whispered word, was captured in crystal clarity, a dossier of betrayal so damning it would leave no room for doubt. The hours dragged, each minute stretching into an eternity. I walked along the edge of the beach, pretending to collect seashells, all the while my mind racing with how I would respond. Mark, oblivious to the storm behind my eyes, leaned into his trainer, whispering sweet nothings, laughing like the man I had thought I knew. The photographer's clicks punctuated the quiet of the beach like the ticking of a clock counting down my composure. My vision blurred as I realized the meticulousness of his plan. He had orchestrated the perfect tableau of humiliation, believing I would never discover it, that I would be none the wiser until it was too late. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the sand, I slipped away to review the footage on my concealed camera. My hands trembled as I fast-forwarded through moments of unfaithfulness, disbelief twisting into cold fury. Mark had not only betrayed me, he had weaponized the occasion of our love to showcase it. The images were undeniable. Stolen glances, hands lingering, whispered words captured in audio, every act of betrayal documented. The heartbreak was suffocating, yet beneath it surged a pulse of resolve, a determination to reclaim control. By the time the ship docked that evening, I had crafted a plan with the precision of a surgeon. I arranged the images and video into a dossier, labeled with timestamps and captions, leaving no room for misinterpretation. My first recipient would be his corporate office, the men and women who respected him, who had trusted in his integrity. The second would be our social circle, friends who had seen us as the picture-perfect couple. I wanted the world to see not just the affair, but the depth of his deception, the coldness with which he had treated the sacred trust between us. Mark returned to our cabin, expecting praise, tears of joy, perhaps gratitude for a perfect day. Instead, he found me calm, eyes steady, holding a tablet with the evidence displayed. The moment he saw the first image, his confident smile faltered, replaced by panic, disbelief, and then a hint of desperation. I spoke no words, for words were insufficient, and actions spoke louder than any accusation could. I pressed send, first to the office, then to our friends, watching the device light up with confirmations of delivery. His world shifted in an instant, the perfect husband facade crumbling under the weight of undeniable proof. He tried to speak, to explain, to lie his way out, but each attempt was drowned by the images themselves, each frame a testament to his duplicity. I felt a bitter satisfaction, a release of the fury and heartbreak that had threatened to consume me for weeks. He had tried to control the narrative, to shape the story of us, but now I held the pen, and every word, every frame, told the truth he had hoped to hide. As I walked alone back onto the cruise deck, the evening breeze carrying the scent of salt and freedom, I realized that betrayal could never truly be erased, but justice, quiet, undeniable, and precise, could be served. I had survived the humiliation, turned the tables with a calm fury, and reclaimed my dignity in the most complete way possible. Mark remained on the beach, frozen, trapped in the images of his own making, while I stepped into the sunset, carrying the proof that truth, no matter how cruel, could be the most liberating force of all. By the time the ship sailed into the horizon, I had not only witnessed the betrayal but had transformed it into my weapon, leaving him exposed, powerless, and facing a reality he had meticulously tried to hide. The heartbreak lingered, sharp and relentless, but so did the satisfaction of knowing I had won, not with noise or rage, but with the quiet, lethal precision of undeniable truth. And in that moment I realized I was free, not from love lost, but from the illusions of trust one had once clung to, stronger, wiser, and unbreakable.